Happy Monday or Tuesday, everyone. Mrs. Coleman here. So today we are going to take some notes in our student journal. So make sure that we have that handy because we are going to be using that. And just to kind of give you a preface of what to expect this week. So today, obviously I'm giving you notes for section 1.3, but also you guys are going to have a quiz today. It is due by Friday. Any quiz that is not submitted before Friday at 3 or any quiz that is not submitted at 3 o'clock on Friday will be automatically turned in, and that is the grade that you'll get. So make sure that you do get that quiz done prior to 3 o'clock on Friday so that you get the score that you deserve. And you also are going to have your 1.3 homework assignment given to you today, but you will have until Sunday to get it turned in, just like 1.2. So let's get right to our notes. So 1.3 in our student journal. So today we are doing section 1.3, solving equations with variables on both sides. So our essential question today is, how can you solve an equation that has variables on both sides? The two polygons have the same perimeter. Use this information to write and solve an equation involving x. Explain the process you use to find the solution. Then find the perimeter of each polygon. So on this one, we are going to be adding up all of our sides together since the perimeters are equal. If I was talking about areas, I wouldn't be able to put that there unless they said that. So perimeter is the total of the outside edges. So on this first one, it's super easy. We just have to add up all the sides together. On the second one, it's a little bit trickier because we have two unknowns. Figuring out the first unknown right here is going to be much easier because I know the full length is 5, and if I take away 3, I'm left with 2. So I'm going to have 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 halves x plus 3. And then to figure out the other missing side, I know the full length is 4, or sorry, the full length is 3 halves, and then I have to take away 4. And so that's how I get 3 halves x minus 4. Now I go ahead and start adding things together. I'm going to add my like terms. So 5 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2 gives me 14. And then I have x plus x gives me 2x. Now on this side, I have 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 minus 4. And when I do that, I get 10. And then I have 3 halves x plus 3 halves x, which gives me 6 halves x, which gives me 3x. And I'm just going to rewrite it before I start solving. I'm going to go ahead and move my 10 to the other side and move my 2x to the other side. I'm doing it this way so that I end up with all positive answers because we're dealing with distance. When we're dealing with distance, we always are positive. You're not going to say I'm -6 miles from something. You're going to say I'm 6 miles. So that goes away, I'm left with 4 equals x. And now from there, we have to find the perimeter of each one. So the nice part is we already have that equation ready to go to be able to plug it right into the equation to get our answer. So for this first one over here, we have 14 plus 2x. So 14 plus 2x equals our perimeter, and x is equal to 4. So I have 14 plus 2 times 4, 14 plus 8. So that means I get 22 for this one right there. Well, the goal should be that we get the same answer. So we should get our perimeter equal to 22 on this next one. So I'm just going to say 22 units. This one over here, our equation was the 10 plus 3x. And that's exactly what we're going to do to figure out our answer. So I have 10 plus 3x equals our perimeter. X is still equal to 4 because that did not change. So I get 10 plus 12, which gives me 22 units. And there we go, we got the same answer. Okay, so for exploration 2, I'm going to do the first one with you, and then you'll do the next 2 on your own. Each figure has the unusual property that the value of its perimeter is equal to the value of its area. Use this information to write an equation for each figure. Solve each equation for x, then explain the process you use to find the solution. Find the perimeter and the area of each one. So right away, we notice that these are some abnormal figures. Well, if I'm finding the area of this one, I know that I have to use the area formula for a triangle and the area formula for a rectangle. And then to find the perimeter, I just add up all the sides. So sum of sides. So to find the area of a triangle, that's when I take 1/2 base times height. Area formula of a triangle, I'm going to use length and width just so that we don't get them confused. And then for the sides, it's still going to be S plus S. So the base of the triangle is going to be this length right here, which they tell us is X. So I'm going to have 1/2 X, and then the height is 3. And then the area of my rectangle is going to be, well, it's length times width, so X times 1. So I'm just going to put X. Because 1 times X is X. Now to find the perimeter is when we add up all the sides. Because I know this bottom one is a rectangle due to having the 4 right angles, I can assume that this side is 1. So I'm going to have 1 plus 5 plus 5 plus 1 plus X. And now from there is when I start solving. So 1/2 times X times 3 is going to give me 3/2 X plus X. And then 1 plus 5 plus 5 plus 1, that gives me 12 plus X. And instead of going ahead and combining my X to my 3/2 X, I'm going to go ahead and just subtract X from both sides. I saw this as an easier way than trying to combine things and then take them apart when I'm just going to be doing it anyways. So I'm left with 3/2 X equals 12. Now remember, whenever we're dealing with fractions, we're going to multiply using the reciprocal. The reciprocal is going to be 2/3. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. That cancels, and I'm left with my X. Well, I see a 12 and a 3. 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. 3 divided by 3 gives me 1, and I'm left with 8. So I get X equals 8. So now from there, I go back to this step right here, and I'm going to plug in my 8 for X. So I have 3/2 X plus X equals 12 plus X. Remember, X is the same on both sides, so that's all I have to do. So I'm going to take my 3/2 and I'm going to plug in 8 for my X's. So 3 times 8 is 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So I'm left with 12 plus 8. And 12 plus 8 on this side is 20. And so I get 20 on both sides. So P equals 20 units. And area equals 20 units squared. So the main point of this entire lesson is how can you solve an equation that has a variable on both sides? Well, the goal is always just to isolate that variable and move it all to one side. So whether that means you have to do a couple steps beforehand to get it to that point where you can move that variable over, that is the goal. And so we only have one definition that you guys need to know for this section, and that is identity. So an identity is when an equation that is true. So when an equation So for this section, 1.3, we only have one new vocabulary word, that is identity. So an equation that is true for all values of the variable is an identity. And if you need more time to write this, feel free to pause it and then continue on. And so Mr. Poe will be going over some of the extra practice problems with you guys. And don't forget to make sure to get your homework done by Sunday. Have a great day, guys.